Hauntings can present in a lot of different ways.
Lost connection. If there's anyone present out here, please move my pendulum.
The flashlight's on. I don't know if anybody else can notice that.
Oh, the flashlight.
Nobody's been near it, right?
No, I was never here.
I don't know why I'm crying.
Hello. If anyone's here, can you turn the light off?
My name is Mrs. Slegel, and I do believe in ghosts. We moved around a lot when I was growing up, and we lived in a couple houses that I believe were haunted. One house was here in Goshen. We lived in Four Seasons, and after we moved in, our neighbor told us a story about a resident in the house who had passed away. And one time I was in my restroom and I was brushing my teeth, and I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I turned my head and I saw my dad walk by, and then I looked back in the mirror and I continued brushing my teeth, and then I went out into the living room and my dad was asleep on the floor. So I'm pretty sure that that was something otherworldly. And then I also lived in a farmhouse in Mainville, Ohio, and it was never anything, I don't remember anything specific happening because I was a little younger, I was like 4 or 5, but I definitely remember multiple times, especially we had this bathroom that was like huge on the first floor, that it just felt like other people were in there with you. Those are my experiences, and I definitely believe in ghosts.
Hi, my name is Liv Day, and I believe in ghosts. Advice I would give to people who might be considering going ghost hunting is be very, very careful. It can be a rewarding experience in some cases, but I choose to stay away from it. That's just my personal preference. I personally had a bad experience when I was younger. I was walking my dog. I heard footsteps on the street. I originally saw a black shadow dart from my truck to our mailbox. And then I heard what sounded like cloven footsteps on the street. And I was just like, oh, it's probably just one of the neighbors, something like that. And then it started getting louder and it sounded like it was running towards us. I went through the garage instead of our front door. And my garage is like on the other side, and there was no time to run to it because it was right here. And I started banging on the door, screaming at my mom, like, Mom, please let me in, something's out here, something's out here. And I literally fall into the door as she opens it because she locked it. And I just started freaking out. I was like, Mom, something was out there. I couldn't explain it any other way except that it was something. But my family has had a lot of like paranormal experiences, I'd say, over the years, especially my dad. He's had it the worst, and I'm like, okay. He does tell some pretty interesting stories. Best part of ghost stories is they get a good laugh or get someone's adrenaline pumping. So maybe you guys can get that when you do the adventures.
Lost connection.
How are you feeling, Krista?
Great.
I'm excited.
Me too.
We're just waiting on Trent, Faith, and Corey.
Is Taylor coming?
Taylor is not coming.
Can we also record us asking questions, and we could look back at it and see if something.
Yeah, we're gonna do that later.
I watched Shane Dawson.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go.
Okay. It's very hard.
About the size of my
It's not a good idea.
Whoa. So this is the stone lake covered bridge. It was originally built in 1878. It collapsed in 2014 and reopened in 2015. It can support up to 8 tons. According to both CreepyCincinnati.com and Ohio Paranormal Explorations, this bridge is said to be haunted. So we are going to kind of explore the possibility of it being haunted today.
Okay, so this is a dowsing rod. You're normally supposed to have 2, but I couldn't find my other one. You can ask for an energy to lead you places, or if you have 2, you can ask it to answer yes or no questions. Brought a pack of cards. And then in this bag, I have a pendulum. They're used to like connect with the energy, and like it can answer yes or no questions for you or lead you places. Lastly, I brought flashlights, which it's pretty obvious they're used to look at things in the dark.
So if you have it to where if you knock it, it doesn't turn on, a spirit can make a connection between the metal piece and the battery in there and actually turn it on to answer questions. So you can say, hey, do you want to talk to us? Turn on the flashlight, and they can. So it's good to have multiple flashlights because I've seen it where some spirits will literally go back and forth and use flashlights, like the red one for yes and the blue one for no. I've also seen somebody use flashlights to color a picture. We were in a nursery at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. It's down in Tennessee. So we were in a nursery. She was coloring a picture, and she said, okay, turn on the red flashlight if you want me to color with red, turn on the blue flashlight if you want me to color with blue. And she got through the whole picture. She'd just switch out the colors.
I feel like we want to record each and everything individually first, for the sake of.
Alrighty, so do I just hold steady or just ask?
The flashlight's on. I don't know if anybody else can notice that.
Oh, the flashlights.
Nobody's been near it, right?
No, I was never near it. Hello. If anyone's here, can you turn the light off?
Is there somebody here with us? You can turn the flashlight off to let us know. We have a really friendly group of people here. If you wanted to, I'm sure none of them would mind if you tapped them on the shoulder or banged into them. We are also listening if you would like to make a sound. I've heard that you like to make sounds over here. Krista has a pendulum. She can ask you questions. And Faith has dowsing rods. A dowsing rod.
If you want to lead us anywhere, can you move the dowsing rod?
Okay, if there's anyone here, is there anywhere you would like us to go?
Alright, Beth, that was a really cool trick you did with the flashlight. Can you do it again? But, once I walk away from it.
No, I will. My name is Danny Wendell, and I am with some members of Goshen News Network, which is the town that we are in, of course, and we are filming a video for educational purposes. I'm gonna pull out my ghost honey.
It never hurts. It's on 99%. She ain't loaded. Alright, well, I'm sad. Okay. Do you want to stand on the other side? How does it look?
If there's anyone present out here, please move my pendulum.
If you guys want to move to a different spot, you should try over there. What about the rocks?
Where he was meditating.
No, not where I was at. But across the river.
Oh, the other side?
Yeah, over there.
It's quite far.
Is there a way we could get over there?
We have to go up on the bridge, walk across.
I'd rather not go first.
I got this. I was over there on that rock. So this like certain feeling brought my attention here, and now I'm just not feeling it. I almost want to say that when I found this, like I still had that feeling when I found this until I picked up and washed it off, and now that I'm here, it's gone.
Is there a presence with us? I don't know why I'm crying. I don't like this. Why am I crying?
Isn't it just a one in your eyes?
No, it's not. The reason I stopped using that was because I started crying and my heart feels like a lot of pressure is on it right now, cooling it down. I don't know what's going on actually, and it's flipping me out slightly and so when I was down there with the dowsing rod, I started crying. My chest, like where my heart is, started getting really heavy and pressurized. And I don't know if that's could be anxiety related or it could have been something.
So hauntings can present in a lot of different ways. So what you just described sounds maybe empathic. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, but if you are an empath, you can feel the emotions of others. And when you're ghost hunting as an empath, you might be able to feel the emotions of whatever spirit tends to be lying around, hovering around. So if you find that you are sensitive to the emotions of your friends, you will probably also be more sensitive to the emotions of spirit. As we've caught more audible evidence than anything else, if you watch Ghost Hunters or Adventurers or whatever show, that's why you get the EVPs, the electronic voice phenomenon. That's what you're catching, is basically it's too low or it's on a different plane and your human ear can't hear it, but the microphone on your camera might, or the microphone on your recorders might. Yeah, so, but personal experience is huge when ghost hunting. The only problem with it is that you can't actually prove it to anybody else but yourself, but that doesn't make it any less valuable.
So if anyone has anything they want to share, we're going to reshare some stories of paranormal events that anyone has had. Is there anyone that wants to share? Start off. Faith.
I will share first.
All right.
My grandfather passed away when I was around 8, I want to say. And it was, my aunt was staying the night because, my grandma was going through a hard time because, her husband just passed away. So they were both in the living room chatting away and just, talking. And I was in my room going to bed. And so how my bed was, it was kind of like when I lay down, I'd be able to face the door and I'd be able to see under it because there's a light. And I was just sitting there looking at it because normally I just look at it to go to sleep. And I see a shadow pass along it. And it was clear as day, almost like something was right there passing by it. And then I thought maybe it was just my grandmother, maybe it was just my aunt. But when I thought about maybe a few years after, I'm like, there was no way that could have been my grandmother because I would have heard her coming down the hallway. And there's only could have been my aunt because, again, I would have heard her coming down the hallway. And it didn't look like when someone walks and there's a shadow, you can see the shadow between your legs when they walk, even if it's just on the floor. And I didn't see that. And I don't know. I don't want to say that, oh my God, it was my grandpa, but like, I don't necessarily want to just blow it off as just some random shadow.
So I am no expert by any means, but I've gone on a lot of ghost hunts, a couple a year generally. Like I'm wearing my Waverly Hills sweatshirt, wear it all the time. So most of the ones that I actually share are the ones that can be proven because they're on a tape somewhere and somebody else can hear it. Because I'm a huge cynic and I don't believe anything that I can't prove. So the first one is really quick and easy. We were at Waverly Hills, which is a hospital for tuberculosis, a sanatorium. And we were listening to playback and we were asking questions to the whatever entity might have been around us. And we asked them if they stayed here, if they were here a lot, if they were a doctor or a patient. And the one word response we got was patient. And then we also got the name James. So that was kind of cool because it was very relevant to the location we were at, and also 4 or 5 of us heard it at the same time in the same room. So that was really cool. We have also heard somebody loudly say "get out" when we were downstairs in the Waverly Hills Sanatorium. So that was kind of creepy. We did not hear that one until a week later, so we didn't actually have to be there when we heard it. The scariest one for me was an EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, that was caught at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. We were walking down the hall. I was using my dowsing rods. I was asking it to direct me to where I could find some activity, and it pointed me towards a long, dark, scary hallway. So I said, no, don't make me go down the long, dark, scary hallway. I had a guy on this side that said, I'll go with you, and a girl over here that said, I'll go too. And then in the playback, I say, when we were listening to it later on, looking for evidence, I said, no, please don't make me go down the long, dark, scary hallway. A female whispered, yes, go. This guy said, I'll go with you. A male voice that was not there said, let me go with you. Super creepy. And then you hear the female beside me saying, I'll go too. So it was a very, like, 2 different things were with us in that hallway. There was nobody else on that floor, and that was the psych ward of the hospital. So that one still gives me chills to today.
My one true ghost experience that or paranormal event that I can say I've witnessed 100% is when I was at my brother's house. He's been seeing this like small girl following him around, child, and he started seeing it long before. I want to say like when he was my age, because he's off in his 20s now. He started seeing her more when he went off and got deployed in Afghanistan, and when he came back and lived with my sister-in-law. He's been seeing, the girl around the house, and even my sister-in-law has some paranormal events that went on with that said girl. And my one experience with that is it was New Year's Eve, or no, it was the day after New Year's. My bad. And I was just about to wake up when I felt a cold hand on my lower back. So that's one way to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And my experience that I had here, when I was down under the bridge over there, I sat on a rock and just kind of relaxed and opened up my mind in a way, just to see what I could sense. And I felt something over by the rocks we were just at when we did the cards. And when we went down there, I found another flat rock, sat down, and felt something right beside me. And when I looked over, I found this. And after that, I haven't found anything since, or felt anything.
I don't want to alarm anybody, but when we were over there, when you said to like you wouldn't like you were sure that none of us would have mind like somebody tapping on our shoulder.
People here, if you wanted to, I'm sure none of them would mind if you tapped them on the shoulder.
I felt something do this.
Did you?
I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to like ruin anything, and I was like, maybe it's just me, and I'm like, no, it's not me because something felt like doing this.
Oh, jeez.
And then I just now, when you were talking, felt something do this.
That?
So
Poke my back.
I remember that Queen City is Haunted Tours and OTR, and we always, when we have our group in front of Music Hall, there's a spot in the corner. Have you ever been to Music Hall?
I have.
Yeah. So like the front corner, on like if you're facing it over on the right side, used to be the playground when it used to be an orphanage. And there is a little blonde-haired girl who supposedly goes around and she looks for older ladies, and she might try to take their hand or tap them on the shoulder or tug on them or something like that. So I always say that. That's why I said it to you. I actually tell people like, okay, feel the spirits can feel free to tap anybody on the shoulder. We won't mind. And it happens probably 50% of the time. Somebody says, hey, something tapped me on the shoulder. And while you guys were down there, I had it on the bridge. I thought it was because the cars were going by, but it didn't happen just when cars went by. It turned on, but it's not turning back off. So I don't know if that's a glitch with the flashlight or if it actually was something trying to say I'm here. I don't know. I asked it to turn it off and it did not. So if legit a spirit is touching you, that takes a lot out of them to do that. Because all they are is energy.
I mean, like,
theoretically speaking.
I'm not saying that I'm not honored, but like, it scared me after a while you said it.
Hey, you came here with an open mind.
Yeah.
Up. But if you have anything to say or anything to do, or if you want to tap us on the shoulder any more times, please do so.
Also, before we wrap anything up, this might be important for any potential ghost hunters. Before you leave the area, you need to tell everything that started out here to stay here. Say, hey, great, it's been fun, I'm leaving now, you need to stay here. So just state that very firmly. Especially Faith.
As much as I enjoy the tapping on my shoulder or the poke on my back, I am going to have to leave, but you are going to have to stay. Ow, my legs.
Thank you for having us. I'm going to leave. Please stay here. I don't want anything else at my house.
I thank you for the clamshell you have given me, but I must leave as well, and please stay here.
It's been really fun. I do hope that it was you turning that flashlight on. I do hope you will stay here for future hunters to come speak with you, because this bridge has a history and you're part of it. Stick with it.
Okay, I love the history of this place and I love hearing all the stories, but it's time for us to leave now and you can stay here.